Welcome to Focus on K0K1 in the Remote. I'm Abby Morales from the Department of Early Childhood. By the end of this session, you will have tools for remote learning, application of the Cryopt tool, and ongoing resources from our department. Although our remote classrooms may look differently, sound differently, and feel differently, our expectations of our learners must remain high. Our empathy for our families remain deep, and our engagement of both remain robust. As you know, our district has made bold commitments to the families and communities that we serve. As you have already experienced, meeting these in the remote will require thinking outside of the box. This is similar to what's called entrepreneurial thinking in businesses or growth mindset in learning. Concretely, that means partnership, attuning ourselves to what families want and need, and what's made it easy or difficult for them to engage. Participation, honoring their stories and reflecting their experience in the curriculum. And pivoting, meaning recasting challenges as opportunities for innovative solutions rather than defeats or failures. What words might you use to finish this sentence? Perhaps these words and this image came to mind. Let's apply that mindset to the following example. In the clip that you're about to see, the child is 4 years old in an inclusion classroom with an IEP, and the parent has no prior experience being a classroom teacher.
And put your hands on your hips, and let your right foot slip, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, all around the kitchen, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, all around the kitchen, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo. Now stop right still, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, and put your hands on your belly, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, and jump up and down, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, all around the kitchen, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, all around the kitchen, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo. Now stop right still, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, and put your hand on your head, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, and put your other one on your toe, cock-a-doodle-doodle-doo, all around the kitchen, cock-a-doodle-doo.
Based on what we just saw, what is the learning that is taking place? Was there oral language development, rhythmic patterns, listening to the sounds of words? Socially emotionally, was there evidence of joy, communication, and collaboration? What is their understanding of teaching and learning? How do you know? And what might be next steps to support them both, the parent as teacher and the child as learner? Now let's take a look at some of the tools in your remote learning toolbox. Beginning Monday, there will be 2 planning tools from our department. The first is an arc of learning, which is a general overview and pacing of the first 8 weeks of school. The second is a weekly teacher's guide with a more detailed description of the content and learning activities for the week. Now let's think about applying the lens of Clsp with the Cryopt tool. Looking at the first 2 pillars, what words or phrases do you connect to? And how do those extend to your classroom, whether remote or in person? Because we want to use the Cryopt and Clsp not as a checklist, but as a framework, consider asking yourself these questions as you plan not just your lessons and activities, but every interaction that you will have with your families. Let's see this in action. First, consult the ARC or the teacher's guide for the instructional content. For example, you will find a suggested schedule for asynchronous and synchronous learning. Next, Consider, what do your children and families need to succeed? What about that schedule will be easy or difficult for them to manage? More specifically, ask yourself those planning questions that reflect the framework of CLSP. Now that you've answered those questions, implement your plan. Your schedule may be just like the one suggested in the teacher's guide, or it may have some adjustments that meet the needs of your families. The final step is to analyze, how did it go? Because families are our instructional partners in remote learning, solicit their feedback and use that along with your own documentation to plan your next steps. Creating polls is a function in Zoom that allows you to gather live feedback. There are also multiple feedback loops that you can incorporate in Seesaw. In addition to the teacher's guides, our department will be offering upcoming PD for building blocks, Seesaw, foundational literacy, joyful learning, and follow-up seminars for teachers who are new to the curriculum. Another important resource for you to tap into is support from other teachers. For example, you can contact Shantae Alves at Young Achievers, who is continuing a group for inclusion-based classrooms. As always, you can visit our website, bpsearlylearning.org, for these resources, helpful links, and other supports to help you have a successful remote learning experience. Have a great year, everybody. Thanks for joining me.